Across India, there is a narrative. Religious diversity exists because people were lured, pressured, or converted for food and money. In most cases, this simply is not true. When you look at history, especially when you look at Kerala, the land where nearly 55% are Hindus, 27% are Muslims, 18% are Christians, all living in the same society with peace and harmony. Here, people follow different faith not because they were compelled to, but because history shaped them that way. Not force, not money, but trade, travel, and cultural exchange. The story begins in the 1st century when Nero was persecuting Christians in Rome. A very different scene was unfolding on the Malabar coast. A Syrian merchant ship docks. Among them, there is a man named Thomas. He's not a merchant, he's not a colonial administrator, but an apostle. He arrives in a thriving Hindu society. He never demands change. He adapts. He spoke to the local trading communities, families, local leaders. Over a period of time, a small community formed around his teachings. His followers later be given land grants, not by the Christian kings, but by the Hindu rulers. They built churches with slope roof like local temples. They wore mundu and they were speaking Malayalam. For over 1500 years, they were known as Nazaranis, the followers of the Nazarene. This is not a story of a foreign faith being imposed. This is a story of a faith adapting a home. 600 years later, monsoon winds brought a new message from Arabia. This time, Arab traders carrying spices and a new message. Kerala's history carries a legend of a Hindu king, Cheraman Perumal, who witnessed moon split in the sky. Curious about what he had seen, he sought an explanation. And traders from Arabia spoke of a new faith that described the same event. He invited scholars to learn more and he even traveled to Arabia. There is a debate about this incident, contradiction in the timeline, whether it is a history or memory. What followed is real. Land was granted and on that land rose Cheraman Juma Masjid, one of the oldest mosques in the world, built in Nallikettu style. The community that grew here did not speak Urdu. They spoke Arabic and Malayalam, creating a shared language of trade, and they became the Mapilas. Their story not written in battlefields, but in royal grants, copper plates, and marriage contracts. So, what kind of society allowed all this to happen? To understand that, we have to look at how Hinduism functioned in Kerala, not as a single religion, but as a dominant social structure. Christianity and Islam arrived as communities, but Hinduism already existed as the social order itself. Power was decentralized. No single religious authority enforced uniformity. Local rulers like Zamarin of Calicut focused on trade, stability, and revenue instead of religious uniformity. Under them, Arab, Christians, and Jewish traders were welcomed because they boosted the spice economy. They got land, protection, and status not from the shared belief, but from the practical values. This made Kerala more flexible towards the outsiders. But here is the contradiction. The system which accommodates outsiders while enforcing rigid caste hierarchy within. Untouchability and exclusions were extreme. This is why Swami Vivekananda in the late 19th century called Kerala a madhouse of caste. History alone does not explain Kerala. You have to look at everyday's life. Here, coexistence does not exist only in the books. It is practiced every day on the streets. How many states in India where you can see a church, mosque, and a temple exist in same street close to each other, still people go, worship their own god, come out and still be united. These kind of scenes are possible only in states like Kerala and Tamil Nadu. Onam is not a Hindu festival here, it's Kerala's festival. People prepare sadhya despite religious difference. They visit to neighbors, schools, colleges, office are closed. The whole state will be in celebration mode. When Christmas comes, it is not limited to churches. Hindus, Muslim houses hang stars, light lamps, decorate trees, bakeries overflow, and the whole streets will glow. And when Eid comes, it is the same story. Friends and families across communities gather together, visit homes, share food, and celebrate together. This is not symbolism, this is the everyday, every year event which is happening in Kerala. The society which learned how to live together also became a space where religious politics slowly began to grow. Not suddenly, not through violence, but steadily. Kerala always had religious and political movements. This is not new, but what changed was intensity. Religion slowly stopped being a personal belief and started being a public identity. Festivals which were once simply celebrated together were started seeing through religious lenses. Different customs were imposed, different meanings were given to the festivals. This is not going to change the Kerala's culture overnight, but it begin to stitch it. Because Kerala's strength was not loud unity, it is quite familiarity. People knew each other before they judged each other. If this familiarity weakens, the distance will grow. Kerala's story is not about religion winning over other. It is about people learning to live together. Because Kerala is strong when people see each other as neighbors first and believers second. Different faiths came here at different times, but they stayed here because the land made space for them. Not through force, not through fear, but through everyday's life. This is the Kerala we want. This is the Kerala worth protecting from the communal forces who wants to split Kerala in the communal and religious lines.